Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to First Reading, the Old Testament lectionary podcast for Bible lovers everywhere. I'm Tim McNinch, a PhD candidate in Hebrew Bible at Emory University and an assistant professor of Hebrew Bible at Christian Theological Seminary. We've got something a bit different for you this week. Among the lectionary options for July 10th, 2022 is Psalm 82. This is a great little poem in the middle of the Psalter, and I often use it with my students because there's some intriguing wordplay around the name God, Elohim in Hebrew, and the word gods or deities, which is also Elohim in Hebrew. The author of this poem seems to be drawing some intentional comparison and contrast between God, that is the God of Israel, and the other deities worshipped by Israel and their neighbors. This dynamic makes the poem super fascinating, but also a bit theologically confusing for good monotheists. Well, instead of doing an episode on this text, this week we'd like to share with you a resource put out not too long ago by one of our colleagues, a past guest on the podcast, Dr. Brent Strawn, who now teaches at Duke University. Brent has unleashed a podcast series that puts biblical poetry into conversation with modern poetry, and it is really great. He has an episode devoted to Psalm 82, and we'd love for you to hear it today. I'm not going to republish it here in this audio feed, but you can find it wherever you get podcasts under the title In Parallel, which is a podcast series put out by our friends over at OnScript. The show date was February 9th, 2022, and the episode title is A Somewhat Confusing Poem About God and Justice, Psalm 82. And if you don't feel like looking that up, we have a direct link to it in the episode description for the episode you're hearing right now, as well as on our website. So check it out. You won't regret it. Rachel, Rosie, and I will be back next week with another episode of First Reading. Until then, I'm Tim McNinch. Have a great week.